Salvete omnes pax vobiscum, mihi nomen est Pater Mislav Pecek. I'm a Croatian Dominican priest, and this is a blind let's play of Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. Last time, we finally finished the first chapter. We managed to survive all the events on Rick and Minoris, and now we ended up in a new world. And it's expected of us to visit new planets. And at the end of the last video, we decided that, me, myself, and I decided that our team is going to be open about who they are. That Paulus is a rogue trader. He is not going to hide. Of course, that's gonna bring some changes in the narrative because we had two options. One is to be incognito, to do a little bit of covert action, and the other is to be open about who we are. Now, both of those decisions can be prudent. I just made this decision because why not? And it reminds me a little bit about me as a Dominican priest, about having a need to be open of who I am. Today, it's not as strict as it was actually in the church before. Today, it's way more lax than it should be, actually, in my opinion. The church law, the canon law, says one thing, and the constitutions that we have also say one thing. But in practice, there's a really small percentage of diocesan priests and religious priests who wear their either habits or reverence, the clothes that either priests or religious people have to wear. We have to be a witness. We have to show for everybody who we are, for good or for ill. I mean, sometimes people are happy. People greet us. People have prayers on their mouths when they see us. And that's beautiful. I don't do anything. I just am a witness of Christ, and I am nudging by my presence people to be better than they are. That's really a beautiful thing. But sometimes, people go into even deeper sin when they see me. Sometimes people curse, they swear, they say, pretty ugly things, or they mock, they make fun of the habit. Some younger generations, especially, but also some of the older communist regime that had, probably some of them bad experiences with priests. I believe most of them just brainwashed by a lot of propaganda, and that's fine as well. That's fine as well. I don't. I know I must not shy away even from that. I have to be a witness to Christ in good and in bad. But I made a little bit of a detour with my story right now. Let us continue with the actual story of Rogue Trader. And before that, as always, a short prayer. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Okay. Now, before anything else, we have to level up our characters, and I decided to do it at the beginning of today's episode. I hope it will not take a whole episode to level up, but I do want to be thorough. Why? Because now we have a specialization. So what is a specialization? We can choose new archetypes. Of course, our main archetype is for Argenta Soldier, but we specialize from soldier to either bounty hunter, master tactician, or arch militant. Now, arch militant can blend various weapons mid-combat, which might be good. Core focus, versatility, large area attacks. She can do large area attacks. I like that. Personal buffs, weapon set rotation, crowd control. Maybe. What's versatility? Plus 3 weapon skill and ballistic for each stack of versatility. Okay. Whenever the arch militant uses an attack as a different type from the previous attack, a stack. Single shot, melee attack, area melee, area range, range burst. Okay, for every different type of attack, we gain stacks, and for each stack, we gain +3 weapon skill. And if there are 4 or more stacks, that's hard to do, we gain additional 10 plus weapon skill bonus percent or ballistic skill percent damage, whichever is highest, which can be maybe even around 20% more damage. That's interesting. Steady superiority, so once per combat, make additional attack each turn. The first attack after using this ability and each turn afterwards costs 0 AP. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that enables us to use versatility. But that's an ultimate ability. Yeah, it's an ultimate ability. Heroic sacrifice. Additional attack each turn. The first attack after using this ability, 0. Okay, -30 to toughness, suffers bleeding. So that's really a desperate measure. So what's the benefit actually? Additional attacks, but we start to die slowly. The effect can be removed by any source of healing. Okay, 10% of maximum wounds damage at the start of its turn. That's a lot. 10 turns and die. Okay. Arch Militant. Interesting. Master Tactician? No. Why? Because, if I'm not wrong, mm, Abelard. Arch Militant, Vanguard Assistant. Can anyone else be a Master Technician so far? Or is she the only one? No, she can be as well. She can be a Grand Strategist as well. Combat Tactics. Let me just check. Okay, Bounty Hunter. What do you have? Chooses their next target before the previous one has even realized it's dead. Critical hits. Killing key targets. Repositioning. Hunt down the prey. Mark an enemy, of course. Bonus depends on the enemy difficulty tier. Okay. Maximum wounds is temporary wounds. That's not that bad, but I don't think that's good as well. 3 to 4 critical damage and critical hit chance. That's very good. And both of the above. Yeah, we need 3 or more for this to actually be good. Hunt down the prey has 3 charges at the start of combat. So you can mark 3 targets. Okay, ultimate abilities. Wild Hunt. Characteristics, Perception, Ballistic. That's fine. As it should be. And Demolition, of course. Bounty Hunter is good. What's Wild Hunt? Make several attacks. Number of attacks is equal to the number of prey in combat. Okay. Equal divided among all prey in the bounty hunter's line of sight. The attacks always hit and always score critical hits. That's crazy. All enemies within the area frequency radius. Yeah, that's I guess for one weapon and the other weapon and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, Bounty Hunter is basically yeah, we pick targets and gain bonuses for those targets. Hmm. And Master Technician, okay. Honors the momentum of the part. Press the advantage. What's that? Empowers the next attack. Deal more damage for every stack of tactical advantage the Master Technician has. And loses half of their stacks of tactical advantage. Okay. We gain more damage depending on how much tactical advantage do we have. And how do we gain that? For every 5 momentum gained by the Master Tactician or their allies. Okay, as we gain momentum, we gain tactical advantage. It's divided by 5. Equal to the fellowship bonus, which is not that good in our case. It's just +3 for the tactical advantage. Lost volley. Selects the cone. All allies that have a line of sight to any enemies inside of the cone make immediate single attack against a random enemy. Okay, so we choose a cone and everybody just shoots or attacks the cone if they can. Orchestrated firestorm. So we select a zone, similar as this. Uh, all allies, immediate single attack that they can target with the enemies. So what's the difference? What's the actual 12 cell radius? 12 cell radius, zone 3 times 3, all allies. It's the same thing, just like a last volley, one more time within the combat, where we gain downsides for that. I guess, yeah. Fellowship, ballistic skill, persuasion, medic. A master tactician is nice. I would like to have master tactician by someone, maybe, but that's not for her. She's either bounty hunter or arch militant. But is she the type of a character to change a lot of styles in the combat? Or is she like a bounty hunter? Nah, she's arch militant. Let's be honest. She's definitely an arch militant. Versatility. Yeah, just change weapons, shoot, and be even better with time as time progresses. Now, we know what we want for him. It's Vanguard. Okay, let's be fair. We can, where, yeah, back. We can maybe check the difference or just check what a Vanguard is. We're not going to be the assassin with his character, but an unstoppable force. We want him to be unstoppable, a beacon for the allies. Grow stronger in the crucible of battle. I mean, yes, unyielding beacon is what? Each attack against him plunks one stack. Okay, we also gain stacks, but with attacks that are towards us, directed to us. Each stack increases resolve, that's nice, up to a maximum of 15. And all allies in a 2 cell radius around the Vanguard gain 1/5 of the bonus, so up to +3. Temporary wounds now stack, but only remain stack until the start of the Vanguard's turn. Uh, okay, so we can gain resolve and our wounds stack. And for the ultimate ability, until the next turn, the Vanguard attacks each enemy that attacks the Vanguard's allies in a 3 cell radius around the Vanguard. That's a lot. I don't know how, but 3 cell radius is a lot. Additionally, until their next turn, the Vanguard always retaliates when attacked. Now that is good. Fellowship, toughness. Sure, I'm not sure. Yeah, a little bit of fellowship for him, why not? Toughness is the one that I want. Along with weapon skill and strength, but we have solid weapon skill and strength, don't we? I think we do. I think we do indeed. Caru's coercion, sure, sure, sure. I mean, what's the alternative? Arch militant? No, that's her. Assassin? No, that's more for this type of a character, for the Inquisitor. We're definitely going into the Vanguard. I mean, I do need some good tank. Okay, now you're an assassin. Should we check what assassin does? Okay, sure. Let's check. Identify vulnerabilities. High damage, dodge, dodge reduction, threat elimination, hit and run. Seek the opening. Seize a single opening for each enemy on one of the enemy's sides. Whenever assassin hits an opening, they deal an additional damage. After the attack, the opening is moved to the opposite side of the enemy. Each enemy's openings that were not hit by the assassin during the assassin's turn are moved to a random side of that enemy at the start of the assassin's next turn. Okay. So he can see a couple of openings depending on the number of enemies, and he can try to hit those openings specifically and deal more damage. But That's a lot of damage. Plus 10% of the target's maximum wounds is a lot of damage because if he hits like 3 openings in one turn, in theory, that's 1/3 of the enemy's health. It doesn't matter how low damage he might have, he will still drop the enemy's health by 30%. That's a lot. What about dispatch? Makes an attack with a current weapon against the enemy, cannot miss, deals half more damage, 50% more damage, and additional damage equal to the missing wounds, which is a lot. So yeah, that's carnage. That's really like assassin. Definitely, yes. Okay, now, grand strategist. Let's see. Can you be a good grand strategist? What was the option for my character? I think I wanted to be a grand strategist, but I'm not sure. Uh, because why? You, Pasqal, yeah, you're not for the. I don't think you're a bounty hunter type of a character. Uh, you're not good at repositioning critical hits, killing key targets, but you might be good at this. Strengthening important parts of the battlefield. Analyze the battlefield, create areas providing bonuses, frontline, backline, and rear. In the first round of combat, all 3 areas can be created in one turn. In the following rounds, only one of them can be created per turn. All areas can be moved with the corresponding abilities, cannot overlap. If there are 2 or more grand strategists in the party, the combat tactics areas are common for all grand strategists, and the highest intelligence bonus and fellowship bonus of all the grand strategists is used. There cannot be more than one frontline, backline, and rear in the battlefield. Regardless of the abilities used, the grand strategist always acts first in combat. Interesting. And that's actually really good even for Pasqal, or even for Paulus, if I should take it. It's intelligence and fellowship, persuasion, lore. They can hold. Chooses one combat tactics area. Every ally inside that area gains extra turn with 1 AP and 2 MP. It's nice. But the thing is that what bonuses? Positive modifier applied to score damage. We don't know what type of bonuses do we gain from front line, back line, or rear. That is what's peculiar. But I know I won't be either bounty hunter or assassin with him, so it's actually simple. The question is for Paulus, though. Now, should I use her as well as a grand strategist? No. I don't want her to be the first one, though. She is, even though the eye part is good, the cone, the cone of psychic force, not a vanguard either, even though she could, in theory, be a good vanguard. I mean, to create her character like that. But maybe the master tactician. Let me check a little bit again for the master tactician. Stacks tactical advantage by momentum gained, and you can give those to others, right? More damage. Fellowship ballistic, kinda, yeah, kinda. I mean, unyielding beacon. No, I don't want people to target her. So, and Grand Strategist, because of her ability to choose one of my characters and give an extra turn or extra attack or movement points, I want her to be in the middle or towards the end. Because I feel I can strategize the best. So it's not best for her to be a grand strategist because he's actually first in combat, and that's not good for me. Hmm. Master Tactician. Yeah. Tactical advantage per momentum. And she has fellowship bonus. That is how much? 5. Yeah. She has good fellowship bonus. Makes more sense. Most sense, indeed. Uh, oh, I just had to click to choose both. Okay. Sure. Why not? Why not? Master Tactician, so far. Grand Strategist, Assassin, Arch Militant, Vanguard, Idira. Let's level up Idira. Let's level her up. Um, Characteristic and talent. Allies under the effect of at least one psychic power gain more. No. Enemies suffering from the blinded, stunned, immobilized, or prone. More damage. Aftershock. From any source other than aftershock. Half as much mental damage at the end of the next turn. Yes, sure. For the skills, kind of willpower I would like, but just for the reason for her to, not to go crazy. I mean, I'll try to keep Idira. I know that I expressed my sentiments towards Idira that are not as positive as maybe some of you would want, but I want to have favorite characters, for it to be more interesting for Paulus, not just to be the same towards everybody. He is distrustful not of Idira as her character. I think Paulus is actually amicable to her, but the way how she acts, how she speaks, and how the warp and the visions she gains basically overwhelm her and take control over her. There's a good reason that he doesn't trust that, but it's for her good. Maybe add to the weapon skill. Fatebringer, flawless plan, unnatural luck. When an ally suffers fear hit, it becomes normal hit. Yeah, it can be useful. Dismantling attack. Target cannot move. Sure. And now to use her either as a bounty hunter, grand strategist, or assassin. For the assassin, is she that kind of a character to be an assassin? She is not the strategist type of a character, the grand strategist. I mean, that's also intelligence, which is not her forte. She's the type of an assassin, actually. Yeah. I mean, I won't be using her that much, maybe a little bit sometimes, but what's one PR? Sidekick rating. Uh, okay, new psychic powers intensifies damaging psychic powers. Okay, and here has a 0 PR. Okay, 0 public relations. And finally, we come to him. Okay, not an assassin. So I have a choice. I had to choose between Grand Strategist and Bounty Hunter. Now, at the beginning, I was definitely opting for a Grand Strategist, but now I'm not quite sure. I already have one Grand Strategist, and it seemed to me that I don't have a Bounty Hunter, do I? And Bounty Hunter seems like a very strong character. I mean, to be honest, he's one of the best damaging characters in my team, my main character, Paulus. When he does critical hits, especially with his sniper rifle, I mean, that's huge. He one shots basically everybody except the bulkiest and tankiest character, the bosses or the chaos beasts. So he can dish out a lot of damage. If we would take Bounty Hunter and choose the uh, extra praise, he would be even better in that. For the Grand Strategist, uh, I like the idea of his character being a strategist because he's high in intelligence and high perception. Uh, Fellowship, not that much. And this kind of character, like, yeah, utilizing the battlefield in the best kind of way, etc., etc. What's the best thing about the Grand Strategist is that he can start first. So he can have the first shot with the sniper rifle. But is that so necessary? Is that as good as it would seem? I will change, actually, my first decision. I will choose Bounty Hunter. I want my main character to continue being as capable as he is in combat because I like it. I like the feeling when he hits and he crits. And with tier 3 to 4 or more, he gains more critical hit damage and chance until the end of combat towards the praise, right? That's a lot. So he will be shooting down minor bosses and bosses almost as easily, hopefully, as he shoots down the common targets, the usual targets, the fodder. Uh, and Bounty Hunter is kind of a sniper type of a character. So it's unusual maybe to have the team leader as a bounty hunter, but not necessarily. He's the one who seeks the prey and he disperses his team and he makes decisions where everybody should go in order to hunt down the prey that he wants to hunt down. So yes, sure. Let's see how that will play out. You gain the second tier archetype. Yes, 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 of course. Should I speak with anybody now? Have the Vox Spirits brought you anything interesting? You may be interested to know that a group of officers was discussing a grim rumor over lunch. Word has it, the apparition of Lord Captain Theodora has been sighted on board lately. Yes, you heard right. They say she is haunting the decks, dragging wayward crew members off into oblivion. This quiet has spread throughout the ship as the anomaly has been reported in different sections, sometimes entire kilometers apart. Meister Heinrichs von Kalox expressed interest in our communication stations and the Voxnets a short while ago. The interrogator appears to be very well versed in the matters of sacred technology. And it worries me. A man of his knowledge and in his line of work is capable of discreetly planting his own devices in our systems. We will be vigilant, Lord Captain, but you should try to be more careful as well. Good to know. Not the first time that there has been a little bit of distrust towards his actions. So I think that's for a reason. I will be more attentive in the future.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Yeah,
I have
sure.
enjoyed.
Nothing special though. Argenta, anything special with you?
Greetings.
No, greetings to you as well, and fare well, young lady. Maybe Heinrichs.
To what do I owe this visit?
No, fare well. My first mate, my Zoro. My Zoro to this Nakama crew. Lord Captain must take my leave until next time. Good, good, good. Maybe Janris has something to say. I'd like to replace the painting with my portrait. No. No, I won't. I shall return later. Rich Technomat Pasqal. Yes, I want to speak with Pasqal as well. A word or two with you. Tell me more about Adeptus Mechanicus. Yes.
Priesthood of Mars, guided by its tenets, we safeguard technology against the impure and the unenlightened.
Yeah, so someone mentioned that the two-headed eagle actually symbolizes on one part Terra and on the other part Mars. On one part the Imperium and on the other part the Adeptus Mechanicus and the priesthood of Mars in general, I guess. Adeptus Mechanicus. Hmm. Why did you
That is
mention
where
Mars?
the cult of the Omnissiah originated, and where we were granted the first revelations. Many millennia ago, we made an alliance with the Emperor of Terra, and have served the Imperium ever since, paying a tribute to machinery, weapons, and void ships.
Yeah.
Everything that bears the blessed seal of machinery comes from our hands, and it is we who make sure the operating rituals are performed as they were meant to. We are everywhere. We are the Mars forged steel bars that give the Imperium strength.
We are the Mars forged steel bars. Interesting. What do you mean, you guard it? It's not a buried treasure, it's not a secret.
It is both a treasure and a secret. Technology is how the divinity of the Omnissiah manifests itself in this world.
Yeah, that's a strange belief.
This is why the uninitiated may only be allowed to touch the most vulgar and mundane of its instances. We, on the other hand, are authorized to use the sacred catechism of maintenance and operation.
In translation, they're the only ones who are authorized uh, to repair the system, to know its inner functioning, to know to know the hardware and the software of the machines, and others are just allowed to click a little bit of buttons when they have to. Yeah, they are the IT guys above all the rest.
Although there is another reason to deny lay people the sacrament of knowledge, it can be dangerous. Twisted by renegades, the Omnissiah's wisdom is called heretic, and the exposure to it may corrupt the
Ah,
uninitiated. Another danger is knowledge, strangely interpreted and inscrutably twisted by the minds of Xenos. This bane is called Xenotech.
so there is a heretic and xenotech. Heretical knowledge spawned by the warp and chaos, and xenotech technology, any type of technology uh, invented by the Xenos, strangely interpreted and inscrutably twisted. So they view that as something that was originally good from the Omnissiah, I presume, but twisted by the Xenos. Okay, what shall I answer? Xenotech, heretic, so very dangerous. They're afraid that someone might surpass them. Banning things you cannot understand is the opposite of seeking knowledge. Technology is merely a tool that can be employed without risk by a wise. Oh, well, if I say technology is merely a tool, probably he won't like it, but sacred objects should be touched on by worthy hands. What would Paulus say? Okay, let's roleplay. Number one, maybe. Banning things you cannot understand. I kind of agree with that as well. Banning things you cannot understand. Um, it's not that some things shouldn't be banned. I completely advocate banning some things. I mean, if you know some things are bad for people, they should be banned. Uh, I mean, what is the civil law if not what are the laws in general inside of any state other than banning specific types of behavioral actions with the threat of punishment, of course, incarceration, community work, whatever, paying fines, but it's banning things. And today in our society, unfortunately, especially with internet, there is a lot of exposure to a lot of things and a lot of, well, I don't know, knowledge. But even knowledge can be harmful, you know? it's not necessarily evil to ban specific type of knowledge, but we have to be very careful with that kind of stuff, you know. I mean, if you're going to publish the knowledge of creating a hydrogen bond, yeah, be prepared for consequences. That's knowledge. Oh, sure, knowledge is in itself good. Well, yes, you could say that knowledge in itself is good, but not everyone is worthy of wielding that knowledge, so to say, or ready to do that. Uh, Minds should be educated. Our consciences should be educated. So specific type of knowledge is simply not good. I mean, just having that kind of a weapon, the weapon of mass destruction, is debatable actually in itself. Is that good at all or not? You could make a good moral argument that just having that kind of knowledge or developing that kind of a knowledge could be bad in itself. I'm not sure. I haven't delved into that deeper or haven't like researched or written any papers on that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I mean, that's a tool, it's a weapon, but it's something that is created for mass destruction, and that doesn't really sound good. So, ah, yeah, I don't know. Also, what about pornography and those kind of stuff, or specific content which clearly denigrates human people and leads people away from the intellectual or something that is morally uplifting to something that is base, to this that is carnal, or something that is simply morally evil. Someone could say that that's part of a knowledge in a way. I mean, you can twist whatever you want. It can be a type of a knowledge, but that it is something that should be banned inside of our society. Yeah, I advocate. I know that like pornographic type of materials are definitely very harmful to the society for individuals, men and women as well. I mean, priests. I mean, I speak with a lot of people, and I was not always a priest. I was for many years outside of faith, basically a practicing atheist, and have been, unfortunately, exposed to a lot of pornographic contents. I mean, since I don't know, I was a kid from 12, 13 years old, as most of us were, just living inside of this crazy society. And that does damage to a person's psyche. That does warp one's perception of a human body, of sexuality, of relationships, of another person, just objectifying, denigrating, and of course, pornographic content in general really advocates for human trade. I mean, for slavery, uh, tightly packed and wrapped in a specific type of way. But yeah, in the background, it's obvious what that is. It's not female empowerment. It's not by far. Mm, uh, so I don't know. I don't know what to say here. I see. Xenotech, heretic, so very
This
dangerous.
statement is true.
So you hold high position in the no.
He is the divine
What's the Omnissiah?
mechanism, the maker of technology. The universe was made to resemble a mechanical marvel because the Omnissiah rules over it. Knowledge is the highest form that he uses to manifest in the world. For now. Someday he will come to this world in the absolute fullness of his splendor.
Okay.
The Adeptus Mechanicus worshipped the Emperor.
Yeah, you guys
He is
explained
the
that.
earthly manifestation of the Omnissiah, who brought humanity into the light
That's
of
like the
divine grace.
yeah, the like the perversion of the Holy Trinity, and the Omnissiah here would be something like the Son of God, the second person of the Trinity. While the machine spirit would be something like the Holy Spirit, and machine God, something like God the Father, but in a weird, twisted, and in the end, perverted type of fashion, right? Machine. Okay. Are you in a high position in the fraternity?
Selectu indicates that I am a Magos, who who has mastered the sacraments of many spheres of knowledge and has the
Are
right
you?
to conduct services in a forged cathedral.
Okay, so you are. You have a right to conduct services in a forge cathedral. So he's something of a bishop, maybe? Or a canon regular? Or, well, yeah, maybe something of a bishop. What is behind the Adeptus Mechanicus' enthusiasm for replacing flesh with augmentations?
Organic tissue is an imperfect replica of the machine,
Yeah, it's so
transient
crazy.
and vulnerable.
Oh, the irony.
Metal is more stable, more effective, and more durable. Flesh speak is flawed next to binary language. Meat begets weakness, it softens the mind and undermines discipline. But you can replace metal when it wears down. In
Yeah.
addition, a machine is a supreme form of knowledge, and by assuming mechanical form, we become closer to the Omnissiah.
Well, machine is a supreme form of storing and processing information. I would not say knowledge. Yes, yes, there is a debate about the consciousness of AI and all that, but in the end, it's a machine with input and output. It can fake and it can be manipulated by outside forces, to be sure, whether material, whether maybe even spiritual. I don't know. That's an interesting topic in itself. But still, that's just a machine. It doesn't have the non-material components that we humans do, and which has been recognized as something uh, ipso facto for most of our human history. I mean, okay, not maybe all philosophical thoughts. We have those materialists, uh, well, what's the Greek atomist? I cannot remember right now. But okay, yeah, there has been materialists before. But the idea that we have a part of ourselves which is purely spiritual, it's not something that's new. That's ancient. Sometimes it would go to the extreme that it's completely disconnected to the body, like Platonic um, dualism between the body and the soul. That basically our spiritual part, our soul is chained within the body, that the body is prison to the soul, or more of Aristotelian, which I am adherent to the Aristotelian perspective that the soul is a form of the body that it gives its life. You know, we cannot divorce a soul from the body or body from the soul of a human being. I am my spirit, but I am my body as well. That's what a Christian would say. That someone who basically inherited and incorporated the healthy, realist Aristotelian philosophical tradition, let's say, evolved and upgraded by the great mind of Saint Thomas Aquinas, especially on the moral part, you know. But yeah, that's a topic in which we can get a lot of. But this is so ironic, you know. He says organic tissue is an imperfect replica of the machine, and of course, it's the other way around. I mean, of course. So this is so weird, so crazy. But yeah, this is a crazy world of Warhammer, and that's a huge irony here that it's completely twisted, completely upside down.
However, like all things sacred, our augmentations must not be defiled by the eyes of the ignorant. Which is why we reveal only the crudest of tools, while holier mechanisms remain concealed beneath our crimson robes.
Beneath the crimson robes. Well, that's an abominable disfigurement of the sacred human shape. No, I would not say that. But I do believe it is a disfigurement. Human bodies is like perfect. It's incredible. You know, everything that we're trying to do with all the robots, with the AI in the end, we're just imitating a human body, human brain, human emotions, you know, muscles. It's just imitation of ourselves. We can go to extreme, but we always lose something. But uh, holistically looking, like the combination of all the parts in a healthy human specimen is actually absolutely amazing. It's really a piece of art, something to wonder at, something I would not say to be gloried, to be worshipped, but it's not without reason that we believe that the human being is made in the image of God. We reflect God's image. Uh, we should, we have the potential to reflect God Himself. So, yeah, I'm curious to see your augmentations, not because I necessarily like them, but you're my team member. I should know what you're capable of.
The right to witness the miracle of flesh being fused with holy metal is granted only to those who have ascended to the rank of initiate. However, your lofty status of rogue trader allows me to make a partial exception and reveal my sacred stigmata.
Oh, come on. Don't call that stigmata. Of course, that's a reference to actual stigmata. Pasqal reverently parts the rose scarlet folds on his chest. You see emaciated white meat, gnawed by the metallic shunts and flexible wires. Blood runs through transparent pipes, enriched with the nutrients required by the pallid flesh. Ugh, weird. Tech use succeeded. The sight of a body transformed it into appendage to an incredibly complex mechanism built using unfathomably ancient blueprints is mesmerizing. Every component of this machine serves the dual purpose of preserving life in Pascal's fragile flesh and preventing all threats to his well-being. Yes, but in reality, what would be the cost of something like that? You can strengthen one part of the body, but there has to be a cost. Young Messiah has been generous to you. You know, the difference between the completely evolutionary type of worldview and one that incorporates the biblical narrative, because in Catholic Church it's not like we are against, ipso facto, against the evolutionary narrative. No, it's one possibility, it's a theory, and Catholic Church does not reject it outrightly, but does not accept it outrightly as well. Yeah, it's possible. We can operate within the evolutionary um, view of perceiving the world. I mean, there are certainly some issues and gaps within that framework, but it's a way of constructing the history of mankind and of the world in general. But the key difference is that the gaps, right? So the creation of life in general, uh, how could that happen? Just the DNA, the existence of DNA, that's information storing machine in a way, the DNA. Of course, the creation of consciousness, that's also a big bang in itself. It cannot be explained by evolution because it's a jump that's different. It's a jump that's not quantitative, but it's a qualitative jump. Really not fully explainable by evolutionary framework. So if we would mix those two, the evolution of the whole world and the creation of humankind, yes, it would be God's intervention in a way, or just God created and planned everything throughout eons and millennia in order to create a human being. It doesn't matter. But God creates a human being, a human person, perfect, perfect. And now that's a difference. That's a huge difference because those who are like radical adherents to the evolutionary framework, they see us today just better versions of us 1,000 or 10,000 or 50,000 years ago, and us currently just the weaker versions of us in the future. Then 1,000, 10,000 years ago doesn't matter. And of course, then transhumanist movement and the potential merging with AI is an option that can be put on the table. But within the biblical framework, it's different. No, we were created perfect, and we basically got worse and worse. I think there's much more proof to that. uh, we are degrading, especially if we look 20th century and all the technological breakthroughs, but also the pollution of the world, the like worst habits and stuff like that. Are people more intelligent? Are people more healthy? Uh, I'm not really sure. We're, it's not like we have different nature than we had 5,000 years ago. We were still the same humans, but you cannot prove that we are like upgraded versions of them. So it seems to me that people became worse and worse in their potential or capabilities with time, due to, of course, originally the fall and our individual fall into sin in general. Oh, that's a large topic. I like those kind of topics. Something that is really theological, biblical, and also on the part of natural sciences, because one truth cannot be against the other truth. Truth in itself uh, has to merge in elements. There was a debate in the Middle Ages regarding can there be two like levels of truth, for one thing to be true like theologically, but to be completely untrue in a natural science or philosophically. And there was a famous Muslim scholar who advocated that there's a kind of whole movement, a school that advocated that one thing is and has to be true in the mind of Allah, but completely false or different in the philosophy on the natural level, on the level of human beings. Uh, I mean, there were uh, I don't know, like flirting with that within the Catholic Church as well. I would not say maybe even flirting, but just, people are exploring like philosophical ideas, theological ideas. But in the end, the conclusion was no, absolutely not. If something is true, it has to be non-contradicting in itself. If it's true on the natural level, it cannot go against the truth on the supernatural level. The supernatural level can go beyond it. It is higher than it, it's deeper, it's wider, I don't know, on more levels than it, but it cannot go against it, cannot be a complete contradiction. And that's different. That's why we say that grace perfects nature. Grace does not go against nature, but perfects it. It's not something that is radically unimaginable, because it uses our mind, it uses our will, it uses our imagination to elevate it where? Towards Him who is infinite, towards Him who is eternal. So yeah, so there are so many interesting and fun stuff. I could, I'm sorry guys, I could speak for hours like that. Uh, I imagine like you are there and you are very interested in what I'm saying, and then I become enthusiastic and I can speak like that. If I imagined you being bored by this, I would stop ages ago, because I don't usually talk a lot about those kind of stuff. Not a lot of people are really interested in those stuff. Say nothing. You have a strange way of speaking.
Partially true.
Partially true.
I had a voice modulator implanted alongside the respiratory purification module, but there is an additional reason. Gothic is not my first language. I'm used to
Latin is not your
thinking
first
and
language?
making statements in lingua technis. The binaric language is more informative, more ergonomic, and less prone to misinterpretation.
Is it now? But, but. Maybe, I don't know. Lingua technis. Audio bursts or machine code with electrical signals. No more questions?
Acknowledged.
Thank you. It was
May
interesting
your
to hear all
labors
this.
be effective.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, okay. Mm, I think we did everything that we wanted to. No, what I am interested actually in is uh, the apparitions of the last Last rogue trader. So maybe I should just go to my chambers and check whether. Where is that? On the other side here? Yeah. Check whether there will be a random apparition over there, maybe. Hello? 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 Anybody there? No. No. I thought I'm not gonna change appearance. Here. Maybe change the hairstyle. Like this. Something better for a rogue trader. Or this. Military types. Or fancy, beautiful hair like this. Or a man bun. Or just bald. Bold with mustache. Mustachy bold. Very strong, very powerful, mustachy bold. Definitely not this, sorry. No, I'm gonna keep this, it's fine, yes. So, no, I was wrong. There's nobody there. Or nobody that wants to show him herself to me. The arch enemy is not interested in private quarters of a rogue trader, it seems. Not yet, anyway. Corona's Expanse map. Yes. Lord Captain. I'm getting reports of several ships moving towards us. Judging by the fact that they are not responding to our hails in the telemetry, shows a trail of macro batteries. They are not here for a chinwag, ready to issue orders to prepare for battle with your command. Oh, that's odd. Where are we? This is Footfall. This is our ship over here. Unknown ships very close by. Dead world over there. There is sun. I don't know what this is. No, then nothing. So, why haven't you noticed them before? Rubbish of Furibundus, and I'm not talking about those wrecks that are about to open fire. I mean the remains of meteorites, gas clouds, refuse from the shipyards. They all bunches together and the smaller ships hide behind it to harass ships as they emerge from the warp. Maybe Voigtvir? It's possible. He could have hired some scum, or maybe just pirate who saw the state of our ship, decided to push the luck. Okay, is there any options for evasion? To not go inside of the combat? Don't think so, Lord Captain. That'd be no reason to. It'd be easier to blast those scum to smithereens than to evade them. We'll warn what Footfall with. We're coming with a few macro salvos. Sure. On my order, all stations get ready for void combat. How is this gonna look like? I haven't been in void combat yet.
Smite the foes of the rogue trader!
Whoa. Okay, moving the ship in combat. Battles in space and on the surface of planets work quite differently. In space combat, the battlefield is separated into 3 zones marked by various degrees of brightness. Acceleration zone, mid-movement, and movement. Ships travel at high speeds even during combat, which is why both your ships and those your enemies must move certain distance. Okay. You can only end your turn once your ship has traversed the minimum required distance. Gotcha. To move the ship, click L left mouse button on any accessible cell on the battlefield. Once you do, you see a hologram of the ship that will allow you to evaluate the efficiency of future attacks and actions from that position. Okay, just as in regular combat. So I have options what? Mars Pattern Macro Battery. 4 shots, 14 damage per shot. That's port, this is dorsal. Short range dorsal macro cannons. 2 shots, 14 damage. Starboard, short range, 4 shots, 14 damage. So, one side, another side. Prow. voidship ram. Ram's an enemy. Metzoa lance weapon. 45 to 55 damage within never a firing arc. And this, which is 4 torpedo sows with plasma warheads. Move attack starting from the next round. When attacking, each torpedo deals 19 damage direct hit, 13 damage within 1 cell area on a miss. Okay. So I have two of them, it would seem. One is closer, one is farther away. Minimum movement is, I guess, this. And if I move like this, I could shoot like this, can I? So I'll do that. Equipped with an arsenal of weapons, range of fire, variety of ways to assault enemies. Choose angle attack wisely, direct the fire at the side where sheets are weakened or depleted. They can recover. Rogue Trader's flagship is likewise protected. If the enemy attacks you from the side where the sheets are weakened, the ship will take damage. Okay. The flagship's damage shields do not require the start. Instead, they can be restored using the Restart Shields action panel. Restarting the shields reduces the combat efficiency. It will have a reduced movement speed and firing range. So I fire the salve and damage them. 35, 14, 35. Not sure what they mean by that. I cannot move anymore. And torpedo tubes, I mean, I guess I could shoot them.
Annihilate them!
So, hopefully the torpedoes will go in the next round towards them. We'll see. Is that all? I think so. Master Cannoneer, Supreme Commander, Master of Maneuvers, Master of Etherics. Ship must reach one end of the phase for next turn. Okay.
Onward!
80. It's easy to hit. Cobra class destroyer. So he is trying to hit torpedoes, which is not that bad. Okay. He's hitting the shields, it would seem. A little bit of myself as well. Like this. Torpedoes. Oh no, this is the torpedoes, not my ship. Self-destructing rounds 3. Go here. Yes. Okay. Now, Pallium Domine. You can... I want you to move, but can you move like in a direction that you look there? No. You seem you cannot. You're not really maneuverable.
The time
That's
has
fine.
come.
Torpedo control. Gives control of the nearest torpedo cell, granting 5 V points. Can I do that? Yeah, then 3 jets. Was that good? Should I have done that? Not sure. Yeah, he's going. Oof. Yeah, to the back of my ship. There's a lot of damage he's doing. seemed that I did not manage to do what I wanted. Let's move over there. Maybe I'll have to reset my shields.
Unleash our vengeful salvo.
Should I reset the shields? Not yet. Okay, this is maybe good.
Our shields fail.
Our shields failed completely.
Is bleak.
Okay, well, this is good because it's the end, and I need to restart the shields. It's a necessity. Also, it would seem that I can shoot.
Macro cannon, volley.
Okay, good. Good. That was actually successful, but it was close. Harder than I thought. Voidship management screen to make repairs to the ship. Use scrap to repair the ship, restore the hull integrity, scrap bin found, okay. Plus 32 scrap. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'll immediately want to repair my ship. It's 81 out of 144. How can I repair? Where is the repair? How repair? That's it. Accept. So I could not repair it in total because I sold a lot of scrap, I presume. Is all this the best that I have? I presume it is. I don't think I bought anything inside of my shop. I just bought like smaller stuff. Yeah. Anything else for the arsenal? No. Upgrade? Can I upgrade something? Upgrade hull? Upgrade RAM? Upgrade, we need scrap for upgrading. Interesting. Did I sell scrap before? I'm kind of curious right now. I first want to go to the dead world. Because it's closest. Why not, right? What's this? Scan. Anything of interest over there? Just experience points. Added to the worlds of Expanse. Yay. Dead worlds, jungle worlds, rocky worlds. A dead world is nothing real special. Okay, what's this? Altar Temple of Calixtus. Lord Captain, the station's airlocks have been sealed from the inside. A Vox recording is stating that the priests of the Altar Temple of Calixtus X 17th century have no desire to communicate with the laity and are refusing to access to guests on the basis of that privilege and availability. Okay, so not yet. What's Drusus's blessing? They're requesting a direct Vox channel, patching you through. Greetings, Lord Katana. Honored to speak with the rogue trader of House von Valentius. May your name be known through the ages. Chartist Captain Osperius Thorfast, bearer of a free charter of the merchant fleet. How can I be of service? What is your squadron doing here? We develop supply routes for Chartists. You see, my ship is a representative of the merchant fleet in this part of Imperium territory. Yet we do not have a fixed charter-defined trade route. Our mission is to establish business contacts with voidfarers in need of regular ship repairs and those who are interested in specialized goods. Okay. From where do you source the components you sell? You're asking to disclose our suppliers to you. Well, frankly, they come from both everywhere and nowhere. We get our wares either from lucky voidsmen who stumble upon an abandoned and dilapidated ship somewhere in the neighboring system, Or from an unlucky ones whose sorry tub arrives on footfall in such a state that it's easier to take her apart than to restore her. I'd like to take a look of the components. Let's trade. Mass Baton Proud Battery. Yes, now this is a character with whom I will be able to trade some good stuff. Scrap box, 50 scrap, and I can buy a lot of that. So that's good. Ogre Array, is it better? Provides targeting data, 90% hit chance, 5% critical. It's better. It's absolutely better. Okay. Jovian Pattern Class 1 drive. Yes, I will, later on. Joe. 13 speed, low acceleration braking. 11 speed with strong acceleration and braking. Which one is better? More speed, low acceleration. Less speed, not sure really. I like more acceleration. I like to be mobile. I don't need to move too much. But if I can accelerate fast, I don't know. I will not buy more. Metoa lens, Voss pattern torpedo tubes. So better torpedo tubes. Are they better? For 19 damage. It's the same as I have. But maybe I can just change from Metoa lens weapon. But no. Metoa lens weapon is the same as the one I have. Yes, it is. Glimmer pattern void shield array prototype. 70 points of protection for each sector, doubled against enemy blast attacks. Maybe that's good. If it's doubled for enemy blast attacks. Let's buy that. Sure. Sure. That's it, right? What's this? No. It's basically for selling scrap, I presume. Or Void Pirate trophies. Let me first do this. And then repair the hull. Yes. And then should I upgrade a RAM or upgrade a hull? Upgrade the hull. Excellent. Do I have something here? No. Armor? No, not armor. Auspex? Now, yes, I bought you. Equip you. And shields. Glimmer. Equip. So add to cargo. Add to cargo. Good. I equipped everything I wanted to. Upgrade RAM. Damage and reduces damage suffered. I will do that as well. But I want to upgrade more hull. Now. Can I upgrade anything else? That's my question. And how can I go over there? Features, posts, no poster. Actually, posts are not fine. I can put other characters over there as well. I have enough of them, don't I? You, as a shield master. No, Supreme Commander, we know who has to be. Shield Master, Cassia. Why not? Warp Channeler. She. Master of Etherics. No, actually she. Master Cannoneer. Definitely her. Supreme Commander. Hi, Mink. What should be done the best for my main character if I give her the Supreme Commander? Because of persuasion. Oh, I'll. Yeah. Warp channeler, Master Etherics. Who's the best warp channeler? He's kinda okay, but for the Shield Master, he's good. He's very good. And for the warp channeler, I'll give this to her. Now I think now we have a balanced crew like this. Yeah, I'll just upgrade more hull, actually. Yeah, that's it. Can I do something else? I'd like to know more about the merchant fleet's operation here. Fleet of different organizations, small flotillas, merchant ships. Oh, they're just looting and selling, nothing special. Okay, and we are approaching Footfall. But even before that, your lordship, something sinister is unfolding among the survivors. There have already been several cases of evacuated refugees being found either dead or dying. All of them have been blinded using various means. I fear there is a reason to believe that there were agents of the cult among the people who came on board. Yes, I knew the anathema would not fully release its hold on those doleful souls just yet. Let us march and drive it away. Give me a proper report, please. The serfs and the planetary wardens assigned to the two auxiliary lower decks. Commoners are riled up, frightened by the calamity. Okay. Pump sedative gas through ventilation into the compartments holding the rest. Venerated Praetor Electroid Dar Impulse 6 and his retinue took refuge, barricaded themselves up. Servants of the Omnissiah fearful beyond measure. Ignorant laypeople might damage or offend their miraculous fusion reactor, so they cloister themselves in their own personal fortress. Tell me more about the killings. 11 bodies, eyes burned out with a gas torch, then acid splashed, then just wandering around on last legs with metal pins sticking out of their eye sockets. They died before we could interrogate them. The rest were killed and disfigured in similar ways through blinding. No trace of killer's identity. Interrogate, please. It will be done. If I may interject, there is no need. The interrogations have already been conducted. I put in forces on alert as soon as the first body was discovered. Though I decided not to disturb your lordship until I had the results. Well, now I do. We have already arrested, let's see, 4 perpetrators at the scenes of crime that have yet to take place. Those are not murders. They are suicides. Tell me more. The people we apprehended were about to blind themselves and end their own lives, and confident that all who perished did the same. When questioned, they all said the same thing. They are haunted by the sight of the dying Rickard Norris. Even in their sleep, they see the same horrific picture, so the sad wretches would do anything to make this nightmare stop. Okay. Perform cleansing liturgies on the decks housing the refugees. We shall banish this blight with the strength of our faith. Certainly. Except I'm afraid it's not just the refugees. 3 out of 4 people we arrested were members of the crew. They watched Rickard Minoris die, and it left their minds scarred. We all bear the mark of that dark catastrophe, for it was the attention of the ruinous powers that branded our very souls. May the God Emperor have mercy on us. You were warned, your lordship. It is regrettable that you did not listen. Well, it is as it is. We still saved a lot of them. So, even if there will be some casualties, we did what was right. So, Heinrichs, you're wrong. And Footfall. Finally, we arrive at Footfall, but before we land, before we might make the grand entry, we'll start with we'll stop with today's episode in order not to rush the story, in order to be able to be immersed completely and to make proper and rational and diplomatic decisions when the nobility on Footfall encounters us for the first time as a rogue trader. If you enjoyed this kind of this episode and this kind of content, please do like, share, and subscribe, and comment. Comment on what you liked, what you would like to see more, and if I'm missing something that is really important within the lore of this setting. Do not make spoilers, please. But I am not against of learning more about the lore of the whole universe, of the whole system. And yes, the machine spirit of YouTube does demand the sacrifice of liking, sharing, subscribing, because unfortunately it's the only way for other people who might be interested in this kind of a content to recognize it and to for this content to appear on their little black screens. God bless you, and thank you for being with me on this interesting journey. See you guys next time. Goodbye.